The fighting along Ukraine's eastern front intensified once again as Ukrainian forces launched a coordinated series of attacks using first-person view, FPV, drones against Russian units attempting to withdraw from contested positions. The events unfolded in a sector that had seen weeks of sustained pressure, artillery exchanges, and incremental territorial shifts, gradually eroding defensive cohesion on the ground. According to footage that later circulated online, the Russian units involved had recently lost a key position following heavy Ukrainian artillery fire. What began as an organized defense reportedly deteriorated into a rapid and fragmented withdrawal. Small groups of soldiers were seen abandoning trenches, moving across open terrain, and attempting to reach cover in tree lines, damaged structures, and improvised shelters. Some fled on foot, while others attempted escape in lightly armored or logistical vehicles. As the retreat unfolded, Ukrainian FPV drone units moved quickly to exploit the situation. These drones, small and highly maneuverable, were launched in rapid succession. Flying at low altitude, they followed retreating troops through trenches, over broken roads, and across debris-strewn fields. The footage captures the drones closing distance on moving targets, often adjusting direction mid-flight as soldiers attempted to change course or seek cover. Inside Ukrainian control stations, drone operators worked in tight coordination. Each operator focused on a live video feed transmitted directly from the drone's onboard camera. Communication between team members was brief and functional, centered on identifying targets and sequencing launches. Once a target was selected, the drone was guided manually toward it until detonation. The operator's approach emphasized speed and continuity, ensuring that pressure on retreating forces did not ease. The recordings show Russian soldiers attempting a variety of evasive actions. Some zigzagged across open ground, others pressed themselves against dirt walls or the remains of concrete structures. In multiple instances, groups attempted to disappear into wooded areas, hoping the terrain would disrupt the drone's pursuit. Despite these efforts, the drones continued to track movement closely, weaving through obstacles and maintaining pursuit until impact. In one sequence, a drone followed 3 soldiers running toward a tree line. The operator adjusted the drone's trajectory repeatedly as the group changed direction, maintaining visual contact as the distance narrowed. The strike occurred in an open area just short of cover, sending debris into the air and further scattering nearby troops. Moments later, additional drones were launched toward other fleeing groups, underscoring the intent to prevent any regrouping. Vehicles were also targeted during the withdrawal. One clip shows a light armored vehicle speeding along a damaged road, attempting to exit the combat zone. As the vehicle swerved to avoid craters and debris, an FPV drone descended from behind, striking near a vulnerable section. The resulting explosion disabled the vehicle, adding to the growing number of losses sustained during the retreat. Field reports referenced in the narration suggest that the Russian units involved were already experiencing fatigue, disrupted communications, and a lack of coordination before the drone attacks began. Under these conditions, the withdrawal became increasingly chaotic. Without effective counter-drone systems or air cover, soldiers had limited options to defend themselves against persistent aerial threats. Military analysts observing the conflict have pointed to incidents like this as evidence of a broader shift in how modern battles are fought. FPV drones, once viewed primarily as reconnaissance tools or improvised weapons, have evolved into a central component of frontline tactics. Their low cost, rapid production, and precision make them particularly effective during moments of transition, such as retreats or attempts to reposition forces. Ukrainian officials described the operation as part of a wider strategy aimed at denying opposing forces the opportunity to stabilize after losing ground. By maintaining constant pressure during withdrawals, Ukrainian units seek to convert local breakthroughs into lasting tactical advantages. This approach reflects a broader emphasis on mobility, adaptability, and the use of technology to offset numerical or material disadvantages. On the Russian side, no official statement was released regarding the incident. However, commentary from pro-Russian military channels has previously acknowledged the growing threat posed by FPV drones. These sources have cited the lack of sufficient electronic warfare systems, short-range air defenses, and trained counter-drone units as persistent vulnerabilities, particularly during movement under fire. Beyond the immediate tactical impact, the circulation of FPV strike footage has become a significant element of the information dimension of the conflict. Videos are shared widely on social media platforms, shaping public perception and influencing discussions about effectiveness, innovation, and the future of warfare. Supporters view the footage as evidence of operational success, while critics warn of the ethical and psychological consequences of increasingly remote forms of combat. As fighting continues in the eastern sector, both sides are expected to adapt further. Ukraine continues to expand its FPV drone capabilities, refining tactics and increasing production. Russia, facing mounting losses attributed to drones, is under pressure to accelerate the deployment of countermeasures. The outcome of these adaptations may play a decisive role in how future engagements unfold. What remains clear is that the battlefield has changed. Control of the airspace just meters above the ground, once largely ignored, has become a decisive factor. In this environment, moments of retreat are no longer pauses in the fighting, but some of its most dangerous phases. The events captured in this footage offer a stark illustration of how rapidly technology is reshaping the nature of war in Ukraine.